Hi everyone, I'm Sarah, Childhood Finds. Thank you for joining me for this video today. It's actually not the research video that I was planning for this week, but we're going with it. I did it on a whim and I'm excited about it. This one is going to be all about Boyd's bears and which ones are valuable to help you out there on the hunt. And the reason I'm doing this is I'm going to put it with my They're Not All Worthless series. And if you don't know what that is, I have a few other videos where I have collector plates, They're Not All Worthless. I also have precious moments, They're Not All Worthless. And I have two parts to that one. And so this is going to be like that. So it's Boyd's bears, They're Not All Worthless. And the reason I'm doing that is because most Boyd's bears aren't super valuable. They just aren't. I just sold this one here for $7 and it took 2 years. So there are some that just aren't super valuable. A lot of them are going to be lower dollar, or low sell-through rates. But also there are ones that are still collectible and still worth money. So whether you are a Boyd's bear collector or whether you are a reseller, hopefully this video can either help you find things to resell or help you find items to put into your collection that maybe you didn't know about. It's not going to be just plush. There are different things in the Boyd's bear family that I'm going to be sharing with you, and there's a fair amount, some good money ones. And let me start with also just giving you a bit of a history about Boyd's bears. It's very, very brief, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of a backstory. So Boyd's bears began in the early 1980s. I saw conflicting things between 1979 and 1984, so early 1980s. And it started with Gary Lowenthal and his wife, Justina Unger, and they ran a small antique store in Boyd's, Maryland. And the first bear they created was named Matthew after their newborn son. And that pretty much started it. It started all of it. And the owner really wanted an item that could be collectible, but also an affordable item that can still be played with. And that was really the goal of this. They also wanted to have a high quality, affordable item. So that was really the goal of Boyd's bears. And then, so they had the plush line, and then in the early 1990s, they introduced their line of resin figures. And then unfortunately, with the downturn in the economy in the early 2000s, Boyd's bear just wasn't seeing the sales that it was previously. And in 2008, they actually decided to sell the company and they sold it to Enesco. And then of course, 2008 marked a big year where a lot of things downturned. And so Boyd's bear really never recovered when it was with Enesco. And in 2014, they ceased all production of Boyd's bears. So that's a very, very, very brief backstory, but that's what we're going to be going over today. We're going to be looking at some more valuable ones. And if you haven't checked out my other They're Not All Worthless videos, I will link them down in the description so you can check them out. Or if you've already watched them, you can always refresh. I embarrassingly will watch my own videos because I forget the things that I've researched, and it does help me. So it just helps me out there. And again, thank you for joining me. One more thing, if you have sold any Boyd's bear items that maybe I didn't show on this list, or that I did, why don't you share that in the description of ones that are a little more valuable, even if it's like 20 bucks. That's exciting to me. You pick up an item for $1, sell it for 20. I love to hear about those. So put those down in the comments if you are willing to share. Otherwise, let's get started on all these new things for you to look out for. As always on these research videos, I do my best to make this as accurate for you as possible. I try to research, make sure that these items are actually selling for what they're selling for, make sure that items aren't just getting relisted. So I do my best to try to make this good for you. So we're gonna get started here. We have a fair amount to share today. And actually, I was surprised. There was more than I thought there would be that were valuable. So I could have made this a longer video. I believe I have 19 different things to share with you today, roughly, in different series in Boyd's. But I am impressed that there are more than I thought were valuable. But again, many don't sell for a ton because it is another one of those items that was made to be collectible. That's why, like the precious moments, they were made to be collectible. That's why so many of them aren't valuable. Same with collector plates. That's why I do these series, so that you can find the needle in a haystack, the valuable ones out there, but you've got to wade through a lot of stuff to get there. So the first things I'm going to talk about are these mini messenger bears. So I'm only going to show you a couple examples of them, but anytime you see a little Boyds bear that's 4 inches and has a little cute shirt on with, you know, a symbol or some words, some positive words, you should probably look it up. There are a lot of them that go for a bunch of money. I'm going to show you 2 that go for crazy money and 1 that goes for pretty typical. So this first one, it's a Boyds bear mini message bear, and it has a blue sweater and a religious symbol on it. So there are no recent sales. Another thing I really tried to do in this video is I tried to get as many recent sales as I could. So ones that have sold, and by recent, I mean, and as always, I only do this on eBay for my research videos because it's just ease of delivery of the information. So within the last 90 days, and within the last 90 days of solds, you can see more information about the listing. So I tried my best to do those, but there were a couple of these that I just wasn't able to do within the last 90 days. And one of them being this little messenger bear. This is selling for crazy money. This one, so the solds in the last 3 years are range from $387 that was an auction that probably could have gone for more, to $875 for this little 4-inch plush. I would lose my marbles if I sold a tiny little 4-inch bear for that much. So they are out there. There's another one I'm just about to show you. There are a couple other super valuable ones as well that I'm not showing you, but a lot of these sell for 50 plus. So absolutely look for these little 3 to 4-inch bears. This one is a Boyds Bears mini message bear. Miracles do happen. And here is a close-up. None have recently sold, but you see it's just a plush little bear, and it just has this cute little sweater, the head bean collection on the tag. Another thing I will note, if you're trying to sell Boyds bears, if you're a reseller, it's very hard to sell a lot of the Boyds without tags. Because they were made to be collected, many people kept those tags on. It's just like the ties. There's so many that have their tags that it is a harder sale without them. But if it's super valuable, like if I found this little guy without a tag, you can bet I would be selling it still. But definitely look up these little guys. And there's a ton of other ones that aren't the messenger bears that, it's message or messenger, that aren't these little message bears that are also valuable, that are just small. And so this one, you can see, here's on Terapeak. Terapeak is the product research tool on eBay that you can use. Please utilize it. I have found a few things in here, actually more than a few, that items are selling for less than they should because it's a item that doesn't come to market a lot. People just look at the last 90 days of solds, don't see any sales, so they price it low. And there are many times I've seen where an item sells for much less. Just a small example, I sold this book called Zion's Glad Songs for $855, I believe, or right around $800. And there was actually sold for $20 and $40 because it was a rare book that didn't come to market a lot. So obviously I wish I'd sold those. But do keep in mind that you should look at the product research tool. That's why I show it here on my research videos, so that you can get familiar with it and looking at price trends. But you can see here, there's one as high as $9.10, but there's also some down here in, like here's one that just sold recently on an auction for $72. That was way too low. They started their auction way too low. It just sold in February of 2024, but this can go up even higher. So these people that also sold on auction probably just started their price higher. So there's always a be careful with auctions, because you can see these were active ones. This one got 25, this one got 14. So keep that in mind. Now let's look at one more little one. maybe if it'll load. Okay, this one's cute. It's just a little dog, and and you can see this one does not have its tag, and it's a Boyd's Bears Rare Best Buddy Dog Puppy Plush Mini Message Thinking of Ya red shirt. Sold for a best offer of $49.95. Keep in mind it's free shipping. Costs about $5 to ship this, but this one doesn't even have its tag, and it sold for $50. So these little message bears, just something here on these little sweaters. Those are the ones you want to look for. Next one, there's these Civil War bears, and I believe they were a set of 3, but it seems like Abraham Lincoln is the one to look out for. The others hold some value, but Abe Lincoln's the one to grab. And this is a rare Boyd's Bears President Abraham Lincoln Civil War edition, and it has its tags. This one sold for $178. That is pretty high on the sold range. Most have sold between $1 and $150, but this was a recent sale. Now these next ones I'm going to be showing you are garden statues, and the next couple, there's not a ton of the same garden statues sold, but there's many different kinds sold, and all of them pretty much that I saw are selling for good money. And I would say that yes, even though a ton haven't sold of the same one, that they're still definitely worth looking up. They are large, but they're not so large that I think it would be impossible to ship them. And this one is a rare, huge Boyd's Bears Mr. Pawsley 18-inch garden statue, Wipe Your Paws, 2005. It sold for $119.99, and then I am missing one. Oh, well, there was also another one that was a little fishing one that I might be next, but we'll see. So that one sold for $119.99. Let me show you another garden statue. Yep, so it looks like somehow my little fishing one got deleted, but it was just another garden statue with a little bear fishing. But I saw 10, 20, 30 different garden statues that were selling, so keep your eye out for these guys. And this is another one. It's just a 2007 Boyd's Bear Collection Birdie Garden Statue 20-inch with original box. Sold for $99.99. Other thing I want to note, the reason I also told you the history in the beginning is I'm kind of finding that the more recent-ish Boyd's Bears are tending to have more value. And I believe that does have to do with the fact that their sales on Boyd's kind of went down as the 2000s hit, and then in 2008, they really tanked when Inesco bought them, and then they never totally recovered. So I'm finding quite a few in that era that are selling for good money. So keep that in mind. And then the next one, we're gonna look at the Terra Peak here, the product research. And this is going to be for a Danbury mint with Boyd's Bears. And it's just a little figure, it spins, and it's sold multiple times. You can see here that it's ranging from about $220 to $335. Let me show you one that just sold in the last 90 days. As always on my videos, snoring, that one's Opie, the Bloodhound, but the Basset Hound's joining. The little smaller snores are the Basset Hound. And this one, yeah, it's a Boyd's Bears Sister Make the World Go Round figure from Danbury Mint. And it has 3 different scenes. So it is a neat piece, and it does help that it's a collaboration, and it did sell for $275. And then I'm gonna show you a couple Jim Shore pieces. I did not know that Boyd's Bear did some stuff with Jim Shore. This is when Inesco took over that I was noticing it did it. And this is a Jim Shore Boyd's Bear Bearstone Collection Eat, Drink, and Be Scary. And I would pick this up anyway because it is Jim Shore, and I like Jim Shore. This is a really cute little piece. And it did sell for $65 on a best offer, and the buyer did leave positive feedback. There are very few times where the positive feedback was left in this video, and why I even mention that at times in my research videos is it helps me know that it was a good sale. Letting me know that this person bought the product, received the product, and was happy with it and kept it for the price they purchased. So that's why I mention it ever. Here's one more Jim Shore, and it's the Boyds Bears Painting Giraffe Imagination Rules the World. And this is a pretty fair price for it. This one sold for $70 on a best offer, but I have seen that it goes up past $100, so this was a decent price they were asking. So $70 to $100. Let me show you the bottom of it if they have it. So here's where you can see it's Boyds by Inesco, so after Inesco purchased. And it's the Jim Shore Bearstone Collection, and it's from 2010. Then here's a Boyd's Treasure Box, Emerald City, Dorothy, Tin Man, Scarecrow, Lion Road to Oz. This is also from 2010, and it's a little trinket box. And all these are little trinkets that go in the box. And you can see they're just little Boyd's bears. They're kind of cute, kind of adorable. And this one sold for, let me pull up Emerald City. And this one sold for $128.20. So what you see, the typical range for sales on this varies between $60 to $120. And the reason it does vary is if they have all the little figures or not for the trinket box. And you can see, let's see if they have a bottom. Here's the bottom of the trinket box. And you can see this was a limited edition out of 4,000, which helps with the value, also from 2010. And it's again Boyds by Inesco. So after Inesco purchased. And then there are quite a few of these little trinket boxes, and most of them hold value of $15 up. So I pick them up. If I pick up trinket boxes and they're $1 and I can sell them for $15, I'm a happy little camper. And this one's a Boyds Bears Uncle Bean's Treasure Box Barn with Mini Bear Trinket Box. Yeah, made my brain, okay. Yeah. Okay, and this one sold for a best offer of $35, and it just has a little bear here, and it's just petite. It's less than 2 inches tall. And so even though these aren't huge money, for their size to money ratio, they're pretty good. And here's one more. It's a Longaberger Boyds Bear Uncle Bean's Treasure Box Miniature Peony Basket Exclusive. Again, you can see the little Boyds Bear symbol here, and it has a little bear right there in the flowers, and it sold for a best offer of $34. Now we have a nativity scene, and this is a Boyds Bears plush nativity scene with stable, 3 wise men, animal, Christmas, no boxes. And you can see it is quite a few pieces. This did sell for $149.99, and the buyer did leave positive feedback. I saw this sell multiple times. And you can see here the little animals. It's very cute. And I don't know if this is a complete set or not. It looks like it probably is, but it's a pretty neat little piece. Then here, Bearstone is also something to look for. Let me see if it shows. No, we can't see the bottom, but it'll say Bearstone on the bottom. Bearstone is something to look for, these resin figures. This one here is a Boyds Bearstone Collection Grandpa's Old Time Clock, limited edition, new in box. Limited edition is helping with this price, and this one sold for $105. I do want you to know this is 15 inches tall, so much bigger than you would think from the pictures. That's why I love to do a ruler in my pictures. If you're a seller, it's a great idea. Also putting it in the description as well, but it's also nice to show it because here, this looks like it could just be a little miniature piece. But otherwise it sold for $105, and I saw this sell multiple times. And then here we have Boyds Bears Peeker of the Month calendar, wall hanging complete 12 bears. So yes, this is many things that added up to this price. It did sell for $140, but I saw this sell multiple times, and you could sell all these little guys separate for probably about $10 to $15 a piece if you needed to. I also saw just the hanging calendar sell for $40. So even if you had to part it out, still worth money, but it's cute. I mean, you know, there's January with snowflakes, February with a heart, March with a little clover, rainbow. I mean, it's cute. It's cute. April showers. Oh, for the rainbow. Oh, that's kind of cute. But that sold for $140. And these peekers, there's multiple like this where they have these little costumes on and their little head out. There's quite a few of those also that are worth, you know, $20+. So definitely worth checking those out as well. I don't know if it says it on the tag. I think it's just head bean. It might say it on the back of them. Let's Let's see if there's any back of the tags shown. I don't think so, but on to the next. This one hasn't sold a lot, but I included it because it's something that I would probably pass up. And that's because it's an M&M's Boyds Bear Light Up Christmas Tree Tested Working New in Box Set. Why would I pass it up? It's M&M and Boyds Bears. I pretty much always avoid Boyds Bears, and I pretty much always avoid M&M. So I wouldn't think this would be valuable. But again, this came out during a time where where not a lot of these items were being bought, and that's probably why it's valuable now. This sold for $100. It does have free shipping. I do want to share that. Shipping could probably be anywhere from $10 to $20 depending on what they chose. And then this one actually is one that sold multiple times at around this price. Let me make sure it sold for the 86. This one sold for $75 on a best offer, and it's a QVC exclusive. And it's Anastasia Von Crimson with Theodore, Family Fashion Boyds Bear. And the prices range on this one from $40 to $75. So not huge money, but still pretty good money for just a plush bear. And the last things I'm going to share with you, I didn't actually know that Boyds did mohair. I didn't know there was any mohair options. This is a Boyds Mohair Classic Poo made for the Disney Company, jointed 15 inches. There are multiple different Winnie the Poohs that were made. There's some Christmas ones, you know, different scene or different outfits. This one sold for $80, and that's a pretty average price for this specific bear. But there's multiple Winnie the Poohs that were selling that were mohair, and they are limited edition. So all the mohairs seem to be limited edition. This one was at a $600, I believe. This one is a Boyds Bear plush, and it's a mohair bear Mondale Caddington. Sold it with 11 inches tall and sold for the $52 that you see. So that is all the items I have to share with you today. I hope this was somewhat valuable for you. I got a little tongue-tied at times, but I thought this was an interesting thing to share, that there's still money to be made in items that you don't think are valuable. I frequently pass up Boyds Bear. I still pick them up if they're really cheap because they will eventually sell because they are still collected, but I tend to look past them, just like my precious moments. I now look at all the precious moments at yard sales. I also look at all the collector plates. So I don't know if I've done myself a good thing or a bad thing. But that is all I have to share with you today. Thank you as always for joining me, and I'll see you on the next video.